Hey guys, thanks for tuning in today. Back in the shop, it's about 5 degrees out, so I got the heater on and the doors down, but winter's upon us in Colorado. Actually, it was back in September where it first snowed, and it was 28 degrees. But anyway, buttoning up some things on the thing on the things. And one thing that I didn't film it, but the back end of Volkswagens typically sag. I call it saggy bottom. And I'm a hot rodder. I like the nice stance, a little bit raked, you know, up in the back, but at least make it level. And so what I did is I ordered some coilover springs, shocks from jbugs.com, and recently put them in. And totally adjustable up and down. If you got a little bit extra load too, the extra coil helps the torsion bars handle the weight a little bit better. And so I got them in, and I'm on the second click. There's like 6 clicks. You can jack it up about 2 inches, but I just raised it maybe an inch or so. So the second click on the shock. And I'll put the link to the shocks in the description, but it's good for the Volkswagen Thing, the Bugs, the Carmagillas, any of those. If you want the, you know, your ass end from sagging, put these on and it'll take care of it. So as you can see, I'm really nice and level now. Didn't want too much of a rake or anything on it, but I'll show you. See if I can get up underneath here with the light. But anyway, there's the coilover shock, and really easy to put on. You could do this in your driveway. So if you have an older Volkswagen that's really getting saggy in the ass end, and you want to pick it up a little bit, it's a great solution. And I think the pair were like 95 bucks, something like that. So anyway, give that a shot. So on the thing, I have the lights working in the speedometer for your oil pressure and the alternator charging, so that's all done, but my lights don't work. So the rear end lights too, as you remember in previous videos, the cross member was chopped, and they chopped right through the cable going to the left side, or the driver's side tail light. So that's what I've left with here. And here's the plug that goes to the other wires from the rear turn signal, brake light, park light, all that on the passenger side. So I need to sort this out, and I'm gonna have to make up a harness to go over to the other side over here to tap into this. So fortunately on the Samba, there are wiring diagrams if you dig around a little bit, and here's my model 181 wiring diagram for a 73 thing. 74 is the same thing, but I've used this quite extensively, especially sorting out the alternator wiring, because I have an alternator now, I don't have a generator, and sorting that out from the original thing that had a voltage regulator in. But here are my tail lights in the back, and here are the color codes on what I need to splice in. So also the tail light was removed in the lid that I got, so I'll get that going. But also I don't have headlights or anything either, so I'll give you a shot over here. On the Volkswagen Thing, the fuse block is up underneath the dash. Right up in there. And I ordered all brand new ceramic fuses, so unlike new cars that have blade fuses, these are all ceramic. So I bet what's happening is I have corrosion where these just are like spring loaded. So I ordered a set, all the fuses here, and I should have those in today. I ordered those on, I think it was like eBay. But it's a good idea to switch some of these out. But they all look solid, but the corrosion could be so bad. None of them are burnt. But I'm going to take all these out and make sure I mark where they came out of and what their current rating was, and then clean up all the contacts, put my my grease on there, and then put them back in, and then give it a shot, see if I have power. But anyway, let's get to it. Making some progress on the wiring. Wow, this is a tedious project. I've been at this pretty much all day, but got the parking lights working. Made a jumper from one side to the other. Got the right signal light all connected back into the block that was half melted, and made a jumper over here. I got 2 more jumpers to make. Got the parking light working up there. Had to take the fronts apart. There were smashed bulbs and digging down in there with needle noses to get the sockets out. So put them back in again, cleaned everything, greased everything. So there's the parking lights. Got the 4-way flasher working. Sort of. There we go. Except I don't have the bulb working. There should be a bulb flashing red inside the switch. So I'm thinking it's probably a ground wire that's corroded, needs cleaned on the switch. And got the backlight bulbs going. So next step is to clean up a couple more contacts on the flasher unit, try the turn signals, and dig the last of the, hopefully the last of the awesomeness out of this thing. Oh, that's a big one. Check that out. So I got in my new fuses, so I'll go ahead and mark what's in there now, where they're located at, get everything cleaned up, and put the new fuses in with some new grease. Hey guys, back in the shop today, and some progress work last night on getting a lot of the lights working. Got the 4-way flasher dash indicator working. I got the parking lights, side markers, front bulbs. Had replaced the passenger side over here. The whole socket assembly was rotted out, so that's been replaced and working. And tail lights are going strong. Parking lights on, brake lights work, 4-way flashers going. And I did make the harness from the passenger side over to the driver's side. As you recall, I mentioned it was burned out with a torch, and they cut right through and melted the wires. So that's done. So the next step I need to do is get the backup lights working. And if I look at my handy wiring diagram that I got off the samba.com, the diagram here, F4 is actually the backup switch that's in the nose of the transmission. And it looks like they have a wire going through an 8-amp fuse S13 into the positive on the coil, which is kind of strange that they run the backup lights off the power from the coil, but that's what they're doing. And then from there, the other side of the switch goes down, trunks off to the blue wire, backup light on the tail light, driver's side, and then comes over here onto the blue wire, passenger side. So I'm going to get up under the car. I don't recall seeing this anywhere, but if I don't have one, it's easy for me just to wire up this to replace maybe the harness or the wire connections that's missing. All right, a little bit darker right now with the sun on the other side of the house, but you see the left is not as bright as the right one, and the high beam's out. So I'm going to go ahead and change these out with some nice Sylvania bulbs. So all the lights are working, four-way flashers, but I've got one issue. My left and right turn signals individually won't work. So I know the flasher's good, the four-way flasher's working. So if I go to my handy drawing here, whoever did this, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's fantastic. This is the four-way flasher switch here. This is like the nerve center of the thing, because the thing is so minimal. But here's my left turn signal wires, here's my right turn signal wires, and then here's my flasher power, the blue coming in. So that's completing when I pull the switch on. However, it's kind of intermittent, so I'm going to take the switch out and clean it, clean all the contacts, put it back in just to be safe side. But if I trace over to here, you can see over in here is my left and my right turn signal wires individual, and they come into the switch. And then here's my power, and they have it labeled green and white stripe. So that's my power coming from the flasher. So theoretically, if I complete the circuit between that wire and one of the left or the right, I should add my individual flasher, and then I could determine whether or not the issue is maybe in my turn signal lever itself. Let's go ahead and get this four-way flasher pulled out, cleaned up, put back in. I'll take some photos of the wires where they go, and it's always an easy way to do stuff when you tear stuff apart, take pictures of it, because there's so many connectors on here. And then put it back in, try left and right turn signal. And then if that doesn't work, then my issue is actually in the lever arm here, completing the circuit here. So on the Volkswagen thing, all these panels are really cool. And they're actually on a hinge right here and on the other side. So you just take the screw out the top and your control panel flops down like that, which is really slick. And then you can get at your wiring or whatever's behind there. So all the panels do that. But here's my switch. I already got it out of here, and quite a few wires on here. But I'm going to get this all cleaned up, and then I'll clean the switch internals out with some electronic contact cleaner. Get that all flushed out, get all the dirt out of it. Here's the flasher switch out. And it's all crudded up, a lot of dirt on the contacts, so I'll get this all cleaned up and get it back in the car. That's what it was, the four-way flasher switch. Cleaned it all up and lubed it, and turn signals left and right are working great now. And just wanted to show some of you youngsters that are starting to work on the Volkswagens. The indicator lights, if you have some burned out bulbs, they have these little sockets that plug in to each section. Like this is probably the alternator, that's oil pressure, this is your four-way flashers, and so on. And these little bulbs, just push them in, twist them, and then they pop out, and then the socket will accept the new light bulb assembly to go back in. So that's all there is to it, but it is a bear to get to up underneath the dash. Next thing I need to do is I took the frame of the convertible top and put it on, and apparently this roll bar is not intended for a convertible top. The roll bar is up too high, way too high, and the convertible top comes to about right there. So I'm going to do some measurements. I'm going to take the roll bar out, I'm going to chop the pads off, I'm going to chop it down, lower it, and make sure it can clear the convertible top. So that'll be in the next video. Appreciate everybody watching and supporting the channel. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and let's wrap it up. Thanks for watching.